What's going on, everyone? Today we're checking out a new bike from Cyrusher. This one's called the Rover, and I was pleasantly surprised with both the power delivery on this bike and also the ride quality. But first, let me give you some of the specs. The Cyrusher Rover rides on 26x4 fat tires and has dual suspension. The front fork is by X-Show, and it has preload adjustment and also a lockout feature. The rear is a single shock that is non-adjustable. It has a 52 volt, 15.6 amp hour frame integrated battery pack, a 25 amp controller, and in the rear wheel, you have a 750 watt geared hub motor that peaks at 1400 watts. There are 7 mechanical gears with a 52 tooth chainring up front and 1428 freewheel in the back. And the pedal assist system utilizes a torque sensor for a more natural feeling to the power delivery. It has a color display, headlight, tail light, brake lights. The Rover weighs 87 pounds. Payload capacity is 350 pounds. The minimum seat height is 33 3/4 inches, and it's currently priced at $15.99 and comes in 3 color choices: blue, black, and green. Now that you got all the basics, let me try to give you a better feel for what the ride experience is like on the Rover. First thing I always check is what is the bike capable of in the speed department. So it's going to ship to you as a class 2 e-bike 20 miles an hour, but if you unlock all the settings and everything, here's what it's capable of. All right, let's do a bit of a top speed test. Now the throttle only goes to 20, so you're never going to go any faster than 19.2 on the throttle. So we got a pedal. That's where it unlocks the class 3 speeds. Let's get into 7th gear. So there's 28 right there. Easy, easy. It's a torque sensor, so I got to push. But wow, 34 effortless. I'm not pushing that hard at all. Easy to go 34 on this thing. Holy cow, that's great. Smooth, feels very smooth. So 20 on the throttle, but 34 easily if you pedal. If I had stronger legs, I'm sure you could probably go even faster than that, because I did not hear the motor cut out at all. It was still helping. There we go. I'm gonna start pushing a little bit after this curve. There we go. Oh, I don't even have to. We're just flying already. Just coast. 35 coasting. Can I pedal at this speed? I can still input a little bit. I mean, big chainring. 52 tooth on the front, 14 on the back. So you still have feeling even at 33, 34 mile an hour. All right, we'll do a brake check here from like 33 mile an hour. From 34 to 0. Yeah, I mean, you can lock them up real easily. I like those Logan brakes. They take a little bit to get broken in. I've noticed that about the Logans. For the first 10 miles, 15 miles, you're like, they're not so strong. And then once you bed them in, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. Pretty impressive in the speed department. I mean, you only get 19 miles per hour out of the thumb throttle, but pedaling, you can go over 30 pretty easy. I was able to hit 34 miles per hour with minimal effort into the pedals. It is a torque sensor, so you got to push on the pedals to get the power out, but not that hard. It was really easy to hit 34 miles an hour, which is really some great speed for a 750 watt e-bike. And I seem to always have feeling in the pedals. They use a 52 tooth chainring up front, which is what you want. You want a big chainring up front. That way you don't end up ghost pedaling. I never really ghost pedaled this bike. Even at 33, 34 miles an hour, I can still put input into the pedals. And bringing the bike to a stop was no problem with the Logan Hydraulic Brakes. Remember, you just got to bed them in for a few miles first before you get that really strong, grippy strength out of them. The acceleration in this bike is also pretty nice. Here's what that looks like. All right, see if we can't show you an acceleration. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, good, strong pull. I mean, for a 750 watt bike, I'm used to riding the really powerful ones, but for 750, this feels pretty good. I always like the 52 volt. They seem to have a little more power. Here's the acceleration again. 3, 2, 1, go. Feels good. I like it. Acceleration was nice. Good, strong, steady pull off the line. It wasn't jumpy or twitchy. Didn't take you off balance at all, and definitely wouldn't describe it as sluggish. It got up and moving nicely. The next test was to take it over to our hill climb spot, which is about a 10 to 12% uphill grade. And we test all the bikes in that same spot. We time them going up the hill and we use throttle only. Here's how that went. All right, here we are at our timed hill climb test test all the bikes right here. This is a 750 watt bike. They usually climb the hill anywhere from like 20 to 25 seconds normally. So let's see how this one does. You ready? No pedaling, just throttle only. 3, 2, 1, go. Off and running. Now this one, the throttle's capped at 20, so we can go no faster than that. I'm not sure if we'll get that high or not. We're at 13 miles an hour now. Steady climb. No help from me. It's a little steeper right here. Didn't slow down much at all. And time. That felt like a pretty good 750. I mean, I would guess it maybe in the 23 second range. I mean, no problem carrying me up that hill. I weigh 180 pounds, so pulled me up there with ease. If you're a lot heavier than that, maybe it would struggle a bit more, but that was pretty easy for this bike. The 52 volt 750s normally have just a little bit more power. Power in this bike feels good. It was a solid hill climber. I mean, you got a 52 volt battery and a 25 amp controller, so you're peaking about 1400 watts, which is on the stronger side of bikes they call 750 watt e-bikes, right? And going up the hill, this one laid down a pretty good time. It was on the quicker side of the 750 bikes that I test. And yes, there are lots of other higher output dual motor e-bikes out there that you can get for a similar or even lower price than this one. But I kind of think that saying you get what you pay for comes into play a little bit here, because the Cyrusher bike just feels like a nicer build. You've got a much nicer frame with the battery and the controller all integrated inside the frame as opposed to being exposed. You got nicer brakes, you got a torque sensor, nicer looking seat, nicer looking paint job. The way that the dual taillights are integrated into the frame, I think looks really cool. This bike just presents a lot better than the budget bikes do. So when you're buying a bike, just think about what factors are important to you, but let's get back to the ride experience. Now I use the throttle pretty heavy when I ride, but if you're more of a pedaler, you're gonna wanna know this bike has a torque sensor. So it's keeping track of your input into the pedals, your pressure of your foot into the pedals, and that is what's telling the bike how much power to deliver from the motor. Here's my experience with that. Okay, the pedal assist system on the Cyrusher Rover is a torque sensor, which I like. I like the torque sensor for a couple of reasons. First is that sometimes I just like to spin my legs, not pushing really on the pedals, just to kind of get them circulating, get the blood flowing. I use a throttle a lot, but every once in a while I just kind of want to spin my legs with the pedals, but I don't want power. And if you have a cadence sensor, the minute they start spinning, you get power. They don't with a torque sensor, because that's keeping track of how much pressure you're applying to the pedals. So that's the first reason. I always don't want power when I spin the pedals. The second reason is that it allows me to not use the buttons really. I don't have to adjust the pedal assist at all, ever. I just put it in pedal assist 5 and I leave it there. So it eliminates adjusting it constantly, because I'm in pedal assist 5 and I can do this. I can just cruise at 7 miles an hour. If I need some power, I just push a little bit harder. Okay, now I can cruise at 12, 13. And if I want more power, I just push a little harder. And now I can cruise at like 20. That's why I love the torque sensor. It's like riding a regular bike. You only get the power when you actually push hard on the pedals, instead of, just start turning the pedals, no pressure, and then boom, it's dragging you to like 28 miles an hour. This doesn't do that at all. So I'm a big fan of the torque sensor myself. It's a more expensive part, higher end part. I think it functions way better, but I know that's kind of a divided issue. Some people don't want to put any effort in. They just want to turn the pedals. Well, I mean, you got a throttle here. You don't want to turn the pedals, push the throttle. But it does function really well. It keeps track of your pedal pressure really well. I mean, I'm barely pushing right now, and it's just giving me little sips of power. It's very sensitive. I like the torque sensor a lot. They did a good job with that. Now let's see how stable she is. I'm in pedal assist 5 pedaling. Just cruising. Feels pretty locked on. We'll test it on the bumps here, just in case. No issue. Very stable. I feel like I could ride like this for quite a while. And that's even with the, the torque sensor assist kicking in and out, and it was still able to do that. I thought the torque sensor worked great on this one. It seemed really responsive to my pedal pressure, but at the same time, I didn't have to push extremely hard on the pedals to get the power out. I've had bikes like that before where you have to push so hard on the pedals and you'd never feel like you get all the power out of it. Not the case with this one. You do have to push, but not that hard. Now, in terms of ride comfort and suspension, here's my experience there. Here's what the ride position looks like for me. I got the seat up a little bit. I can show you the minimum seat height on this thing. This the whole way down. I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm huge at minimum seat height on this. It goes pretty low. But I'm going to put that back up and then show you the suspension. I love the suspension on this thing. It feels so soft. It really has some squish to it. It feels fantastic. It's so plush. It's like a Cadillac ride. Cadillac ride on this thing. The rear suspension feels, I'll say, really good. I like that a lot. It's really soft. The front is a little bit too soft. It's great for just like, you know, through the park here or around town on the sidewalk cracks. But if you get into serious bumps, you find the limits of that fork. Because it's, you can just kind of bottom it out pretty easy. So I think that could be a little bit stiffer. There's no adjustment in it. You have a lockout to the fork and that's it. But man, around town, this thing is so plush. A+ on the suspension, with the exception of the fork needs to be a touch stiffer. I'll give you one more look here at the ride position. I like this ride position. It's nice and upright. You got this thing right here on the handlebars that sticks out, but the bars have a big bend in them, so you can angle them back to you. And I feel pretty upright. It's really comfy. That in combination with the suspension feels fantastic. So great on the ride positioning. The only drawback of these bars like this is you can't really clip a lot of stuff on there because it's got such a deep bend in it. The straighter bars, it's easier to clip other things on. So you don't think about that. I mean, you could mount a phone holder like right here on this though. That would probably work pretty good. Now in terms of weight, it's not the lightest bike. It's certainly not the heaviest. I'll put the exact weight on the screen, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty heavy. So think about that. If you got to carry it up a flight of stairs, you got to load it in and out of a car or something like that. It's not the lightest bike out there, especially if you're going to add other stuff. If you're going to put rack and fenders and other things on there, you're going to add to this weight. But I really love the color of this bike. It has such a good look to it. This light metallic green. I love the green. I always love green. Whenever they offer me, you know, pick your color, I always pick the green. I think they always look really good. This one is especially good. A great paint job on it. I think the graphics look good on it. I really like the taillights integrated into the back of the frame, like the dual taillights. Can you see those? That's so cool. They did a great job on that. But nice looking bike. Very nice looking bike. It looks very off-roady with the no fenders, no rear rack on it. You just kind of get the feeling, I can see this on the back of a Jeep Wrangler, somebody taking it to the trail to ride it. But good looking, comfy bike. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing ski goggles, there's 2 weeks of the year in North Carolina where the pollen just rains like snow. And that's right now. So I'm trying to keep all the pollen out of my eyes. So standout features for me on this one, I'm going to say first is ride quality. The suspension is set up about perfect for me. I don't know how many times I've probably said that to you now, but it's very soft. It's like a Cadillac ride around town, going over these little bumps and cracks in the sidewalk. It soaks up everything beautifully. It's so smooth. If you go off-road hardcore with it, you're probably going to find the limit of the suspension real quick. But around town, man, oh, it's so comfy. I love that about it. The upright ride position with the swoop bars, that's nice. I love the round grips. They have round rubber grips. Most bikes have the palm rest. I'm not so much a fan. I like these. It feels more athletic, more off-roady with the round grips. And they grip better. I just like those. And then the second thing I'll say is the power. For a 750 watt bike, really good power and really great speed. I mean, 30, easy. 30 miles an hour, no problem. You got to be pedaling to do it. Can't do it throttle, but no, it's a breeze doing 30. And I was able to do 34 very easily with it. Let's go over here, take it off the road a bit, see how it feels. Feels good. Soaking up all this stuff. This is super smooth across this. But if you're gonna hit a big bump, you're gonna feel that front bottom out for sure. This isn't rough enough. It feels still like a Cadillac on this stuff. You got me, Rover. You got me, Cyrusher, with this one. It just floats. All right, we're coming back through because I want to try to do this off-road hill, throttle only. See if it'll do it. We're gonna get a little bit of a roll into it here. All right, hit it. Doubt that it makes it, but we'll see. I mean, it's gonna do it, barely. That's the difference between the, the 750 motors and like the 2,000 watt motors. It did it though. That's actually pretty good. I didn't think it was going to. It slowed down a lot, but it did it. So the ergonomics of this bike was one of my favorite parts. I mean, you sit pretty upright. You don't have to stretch really far for the bars. You don't have to lean way over. You're pretty tall and upright, which is the ride position I like. And then the suspension, for me at 180, was really squishy and soft. I really like that. But you got to take into account your own weight and if that shock setup is going to work for you or not. Maybe it might be too soft if you're a lot heavier than me. But for how I ride, I thought the bike was set up almost perfectly. And of course, there was one last thing that we needed to test, which was the range of the bike. How far could we go on our 52 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery pack? Take a look. Real easy. Got through the ditch fine. Maybe it's because there's no rack and fenders on this. It doesn't feel like so much as a street bike. It feels like a mountain bike with big old fat tires on it. Never been down this pipeline. Let's check it out. That's the great thing about these bikes. You can just go explore stuff. We have a little rocky stream to cross. You don't have to worry about like pedaling back. Just throttle it out of here. Oh, I can feel the motor struggling there, but it did it. Good exploring bike. Oh, we got multiple paths. We'll go. I went the wrong way. When in doubt, go to the right, right? I didn't do that. I don't know what this road is, but this is absolutely beautiful back here. Gorgeous. We gotta take a picture. How do I get out of here? I don't know. We'll find a way. Well, we are 22 miles into our range test. 22 miles, and we're down to 1 battery bar. I definitely feel the power has dropped off a little bit. You don't notice it as much on the flats. It still feels pretty good. But if you get onto a hill, you can feel the power loss. So 22 miles in, I don't expect it to go all that much further. I guess we'll see. Okay, our battery indicator is now empty and it's flashing at me. So I'm gonna say that's probably the end of the battery life. I've gone 26 miles, hit the throttle. You can see it's still moving me pretty decently actually for being completely dead. It'll still run me up to its max speed on the throttle, like 19 miles an hour. But with it flashing and empty, you know you gotta be heading for home. So with range, I always say, think about how you're gonna ride it. I rode today very hard riding, pedal assist 5 the whole time, a lot of throttle use, a lot of power usage out of this, high speed riding, off-road, throttle only riding. I really sucked up the battery pretty good. I rode with no concern for battery conservation at all. So how are you gonna ride? So 26 miles of pretty hard riding. I mean, obviously the bike is gonna go a lot further than that if you pedal more than I did. Anytime I'm in the 0 to 20 mile an hour speed range, I'm using just the throttle, not even pedaling. And then when I want to go faster, I want to go 30 miles an hour, I'm in pedal assist level 5, the highest level, and I'm pushing, but not very hard on the pedals. You don't have to push very hard to get that power out. So if you are in a lower pedal assist number and with some actual decent input from the rider, you're going to go a lot further than 26 miles. However, if you plan on logging a ton of miles in a day, maybe you look at getting a second battery pack, but it would be my guess that this battery is probably going to be plenty of range for your average rider. Hope that helps. So that was my experience with the Cyrusher Rover bike. I'll put a link to the bike below so you can check it out further if you want. And if you have a question I didn't cover, put that in the comments. I'll do my best to answer if I can. Hope you found this video helpful, informative. If you did, consider hitting subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.